trying to block me. Everything was going against the sanction bodies, going against everything that people sit and tolerate. I wasn't tolerating it, so it's kind of like the black sheep, like, he's the bad one, get him out of here, we don't need him.
I think this is disgusting. I think this is musty at the highest level. Oh, Shakur Stevenson has been stripped.
Terence Crawford has finally broken his silence, and he didn't hold back. The boxing legend took to Instagram with a post that sent shockwaves through the sport, directly calling out the World Boxing Council. His words were sharp, calculated, and loaded with sarcasm as he wrote, "WBC, ain't no way y'all still this mad. It's cool, bro. The ring belt was free." This wasn't a random post from a retired fighter chasing attention. This was Crawford stepping into a fight that had been quietly building for months.
Makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanctioned bodies, huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you?
Shakur Stevenson, against one of boxing's most powerful sanctioning bodies. The tension between fighters and organizations has been growing for years. But this situation goes beyond routine complaints about politics or corruption. This feels personal. It's about double standards, resentment, and a power struggle threatening to tear the sport apart from within. What the WBC did to Shakur mirrors what they did to Crawford just months earlier, and the boxing world is finally starting to connect the dots. The big question remains, is this really about rules, or is the WBC punishing fighters who dare to challenge them? To understand Crawford's anger, we have to rewind to January 31st, 2026, the night Shakur Stevenson stepped into Madison Square Garden with everything on the line. The 28-year-old from Newark, New Jersey, faced Teofimo Lopez, a fighter known for explosive power, speed, and a confidence that often bordered on arrogance. Lopez entered as the WBO junior welterweight champion, and most analysts favored him going in. Stevenson was recognized as technically brilliant, but doubts lingered about whether he had enough power to dominate elite competition at 140 pounds. Those doubts vanished almost immediately after the opening delivered. A flawless performance, dominating nearly every round with a masterclass in pure boxing. His jab snapped Lopez's head back repeatedly, his footwork made him nearly untouchable, and his ring IQ allowed him to outthink and outmaneuver one of the division's most dangerous fighters. By the final bell, there was no controversy or debate. Shakur Stevenson had captured the ring and WBO junior welterweight titles in one of the most complete performances of his career. Even more impressive, he became a 4-division world champion at just 28 years old, joining an elite group that includes Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, and Terence Crawford himself. Achieving championships in four weight classes is a true mark of greatness, a testament to adaptability, discipline, and elite skill.
It was an amazing night. I put the work in. I stayed disciplined throughout my camp. I was in tremendous shape, and T.O., he's a hell of a fighter, but I was the better man tonight.
The moments after the victory, Terence Crawford stood in the ring alongside Shakur, celebrating with him as the crowd roared. The boxing world was buzzing. Shakur Stevenson had reached the top of the sport, and his future seemed limitless. But that momentum was short-lived. Just days later, on February 4th, 2026, the World Boxing Council dropped a stunning announcement that left fans, analysts, and Shakur himself in disbelief. In an official statement, the WBC declared that Shakur Stevenson was being stripped of his WBC lightweight title, effective immediately. The timing was ruthless. Shakur had just secured the biggest win of his career, and before he could even process it, one of his belts was taken away.
That's right, Shakur Stevenson has been stripped of his WBC 135-pound belt, fresh off his absolute destruction and masterclass in ending Teofimo Lopez's career last Saturday night in Madison Square Garden with the beautiful display of boxing.
WBC's explanation sounded simple on the surface. Under their rules, A champion cannot hold belts in different weight classes simultaneously when those divisions don't involve WBC titles. Since Shakur had just become the WBO junior welterweight champion, they argued he could no longer retain the WBC lightweight belt. On paper, it seemed reasonable, but the issue was the timing. Fighters in similar situations are usually given a grace period to decide which division to remain in. Fans expected Shakur to have weeks, maybe months, to make that choice. Instead, the WBC acted almost instantly, stripping him just days after his win, as if they had been waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
The WBC has stripped him now of his 135-pound title because he won the WBO title at 140. Shakur Stevenson made it abundantly clear that he's a 135-pounder. He's going up in weight just for situational fights.
Shakur didn't even get a chance to properly celebrate before the decision dropped. Known for speaking his mind, Stevenson didn't stay quiet. He took to X, formerly Twitter, and unleashed a series of explosive posts aimed directly at the WBC. His main accusation was clear and damning. The organization demanded $100,000 in sanctioning fees for a fight their belt wasn't even part of. Shakur fought Teofimo Lopez for the ring and WBO titles. The WBC lightweight belt wasn't on the line, and Lopez wasn't a WBC champion yet. According to Shakur, the WBC still wanted a six-figure payment simply because he held their belt while moving up in weight. In one of his sharpest posts, he wrote, $100,000 to some crooks who don't deserve it. Nah, I'd rather give it to my daughter. He made it clear where he believed that money truly belonged. He went even further, stating that the WBC had nothing to do with the fight and that it was eating them alive. To Shakur, this wasn't about regulations. It was about resentment. He believed the organization was upset they weren't involved in one of the year's biggest fights and chose to punish him for it. He then added a key detail that strengthened his argument, pointing out that he had already paid the WBC after his previous fight. Shakur questioned why he was being asked for another $100,000 so soon. His answer was blunt. He accused the WBC of coming after him because of their issues with Terence Crawford. Y'all got beef with Bud, so you coming at me for it, he wrote. With that statement, Shakur framed the situation as part of a larger pattern. His final message to the organization was defiant and unapologetic. Take your belt. It don't make me. In other words, he didn't need the WBC
in a rush to do nothing. Can't give this dude a week to make a decision on what he wants to do next.
8 interview to understand why Shakur accused the WBC of holding a grudge against Crawford. You have to rewind just months earlier to one of the most controversial moments in modern boxing. In September 2025, Terence Crawford achieved the unthinkable by moving up to super middleweight and defeating Canelo Alvarez to become the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. It was a historic accomplishment that solidified Crawford's place among the greatest fighters ever. But just months later, in December 2025, the WBC stunned the boxing world by stripping Crawford of his super middleweight title, claiming he owed $300,000 in sanctioning fees. What followed became one of the most talked about disputes in boxing history.
Him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self and paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000.